welcome to the Josh and Tom Show. It's April 28th, 2014, and I'm Josh Hudgens.
I'm Tom Conway. Sorry for the late show. We had some busy schedules throughout the week, so we're just able to get this show out to you now. Sorry for the inconvenience.
So anyway, start off, we got a little proposition, if you will. We're going to make a little song. I think some people are familiar with it, but if you're not, you can Google it. We're going to make a little song. It's called Let It Go by, it's on the Frozen soundtrack. I don't really know who wrote it. This wasn't our idea. Somebody else just told us to sing it, so we're going to have a little contest. If this video gets 15 likes, 10 comments, and 3 shares, or you can share the page, we'll do a cover on the song. So yeah, it's called Let It Go by Frozen. Yeah. So you got anything to say?
No, that'll be about it for the Frozen cover that we're going to be doing. We have a story to tell, since there really hasn't been a whole lot of news this week. I mean, there's been some funny things that happen at school.
Having a knock in front of the guidance office.
But we can't talk about that.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
We can't talk about it, but some funny stuff happened. Alright, anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and pull out an old classic, the Crazy Guy story of 2010?
Yeah, 2010?
2009 maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Anyways, so starts out on a warm summer evening. Me and Josh are strolling through the woods, just being boys, you know, and decide to explore outside of the land, outside of Josh's land. So we went into the woods of a neighbor who we took Josh's woods that connects to his woods. And so we were just kind of hiking around, exploring, and so we were exiting after, you know, maybe an hour of walking around, and as we were walking out of the woods, we walked into this field, and
it was like a blank field.
Open field.
It didn't look like it was anybody's property.
It looked vacant. It looked like no one, you know, had maintained it or anything like that. So we were walking through, and this man yelled out.
The crazy guy.
The crazy guy, we'll call him. Yelled out for Josh.
He was like, "Hey!" So when a guy yells, "Hey," and keep in mind, I'm like, what, 8th grade?
Yeah,
going to freshman year.
So I'm ready to walk over to him and see what's what.
Yeah.
Well, I turn around, and Josh is booking it towards the road. He's running off.
I mean, why would you walk over to the guy? He could have a gun. Yeah, I don't trust this guy.
So I knew he was probably yelling at us for being on his land, but you know, I wasn't sure what to do. So I turn around, I see Josh running, so I just decided to run with Josh. So we ran towards the road, hid out in this ditch on the corner of, what road is that?
Is it 700?
Is it 700?
I don't know. I'm not good at the roads. It's Corey Stamper's Road. Shout out to Corey Stamper.
Corey Stamper's Road.
And 200 South.
Yeah, we hit on the corner of Corey Stamper's Road and 200 South, and it was a very obvious hiding spot.
We're hiding in the weeds thinking, you know, he's not going to see us. So this guy gets in his truck, and he drives by, and we're like,
and he stops.
Yeah,
right
he
where
stops.
we're at, and we're just ducking down.
And we're like, oh, we got him now. We're all excited.
We tricked him up a little bit.
So we get up, and we start walking, because from Corey's house.
And he took off.
He's gone.
Yeah.
And then so we're walking from Corey's house to my house, and it's like, what?
And we were just kind of like, you know, we're just patting ourselves on the back, like, we got this in
the bag. And then Tom tells me, it's like inspirational, like, hey, if he comes back, don't tell him anything. Don't tell him your name. So that you know, that hit me in the heart. And then, so we have an idea, I forgot whose idea it was, to take off our shirts.
So that way you wouldn't recognize us. That was 8th grade thinking. That was our 8th grade
so
minds.
we both take off our shirts, or Tom takes off his shirt or something. And then so we hear a car from behind, but we don't want to turn around just in case.
And we hear it slow down, and that's when we knew, oh no.
It was a crazy guy. And he unrolls his window. And of course I'm on the left side of the road, so the driver's side window's facing me. And he's like, hey, what are you boys doing? And I'm like, I don't know. And then he starts like yelling and spitting in my face. And I like stop, and I start walking backwards, and he reverses. And then I start walking forward, and he goes forward. And he keeps asking what my name is. And he eventually asked me to get in his truck, and I'm not getting in this guy's truck. He's spitting in my face. So I book it, I run for it, and he almost kills Tom.
Yeah, so as soon as Josh started running, I followed, of course. And as I run across the street to follow Josh, he backs into me, and I see his bumper, about that close to my face. He almost killed me, and I kept running. And so as we're running into the woods, he pulls into the woods with us, and he's going with his truck. We're going by foot, and
yeah, eventually the woods got so thin,
yeah,
he
so
had to
he
get
had
out.
to get out of his truck. He starts taking off on foot.
And he's
but
like 60,
he's
right?
an older guy.
He's a crazy
so
guy still.
he couldn't keep up with a couple of
Yeah.
young stallions
Yeah.
like me and Josh.
And that was when
So-
we were in our prime too, so we were quick.
Yeah, so he's chasing us down, and Josh has no regard for anything.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
going
like
on around
zoned
him.
out. My adrenaline was like rushing or something. So like,
Josh is running through sticks, getting
yeah,
all scraped up.
but I don't feel it, and I'm like jumping over stuff like I'm like some like Olympic guy, and I'm like jumping over these tree branches, spinning around, and eventually we get back, and I like snap out of it, and I've cuts up my legs, like literally like I'm bleeding everywhere, and then
And we were so paranoid. I remember I used to ride my bike to Josh's house, so I was like, I'm not riding my bike home. And Josh was like, yeah, no, stay here for tonight. So I ended up staying the night, and we went to Ponderosa, that steakhouse place. And we went to Ponderosa. We were so paranoid that we thought that we saw him there. We were trying to hide behind the table, like kind of duck around and get to our table, discreetly. And it was and even the months following that, we were still paranoid
Yeah.
about the whole thing.
we were
thinking
deathly afraid of the crazy guy. I
we
remember
thought
we
that-
drive by his house, and we like kneel down
we
in the
ducked our
car.
heads. We thought that he was like following it. Like we thought Josh would take out the trash and he'd
Yeah.
drive by kind of slow, and Josh thought like, oh no,
Yeah,
he's-
he struck the fear of God into me.
I thought he would follow me home on my bike.
Yeah.
We were paranoid.
Yeah, and then like, so this is freshman year. Fast forward 3 years till like a couple months ago, right?
Yeah.
And then so, Pops gets a knock on the door. He's like, some old guy walks up. He's like, hey, your boy's been hunting in my backyard, and I don't hunt. I'm not a country kid. And then so, my dad's like, no, and he's like, well, I think your two kids are, your son and his friend have been in my yard before a few years back, and they ran away from me. Crazy guy knows who we are. Watch yourself. So, anyway, no, that's just a nice little story. We didn't have any news. That took way longer than I thought it would. It's been like 5 minutes. So, if you're still watching to this point, other than that, the only news is I got a job at Lowe's.
And I put in an application to save a lot.
So we're
Wink, wink. Hire me if you're watching this.
this is a good example of why you should hire Tom.
Go ahead and follow me on Twitter, fake Tom Conway. Follow me on Instagram, Tom Conway 3 or Tom Conway 95, one of those two. And follow me or add me on Snapchat. And yeah.
Snapchat is Joshy Money. Instagram is GoodLookingBoy1. No G in looking. And Twitter is Josh Hudge with 1H, I think.
I'd just like to remind all the viewers that we did this whole tape in one take.
Yeah, one take. This is outrageous. And we're still going strong. And other than that, school's ticking down. We got a couple weeks left here. So we got something big planned for the Josh and Tom show. We're not going to tell you yet, but within the next 2 weeks, it's a big plan. It's a little, we got some prizes planned. So, stay tuned.
Remember to like, comment, and share for us to sing.
Yeah, for us to
Let
sing.
It Go.
That Let It Go. This
That's a
little
preview.
sample. So until next time, HTTAJ.